Alrighty, live from Cabot, Arkansas. It's Saturday night. This is Answering Your Financial Questions with Coach Steve Money. And as usual, I'm waiting to see if the sound is working. One day I'll get a producer and they will do this stuff for me. Alrighty. So one quick plug and we'll get right into it. You're watching this on youtube.com/coachstevemoney. And for my other financial content, just scroll down and you'll see the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist. That's this stream and the Ramsey Show After Show. That is another stream. And that one's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The Answering Your Financial Questions is Saturdays and Sundays. And the music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs. Listen to those if you are so inclined. And let's get into the questions. What up, Sid? Worldly Werewolf 537. Oh, that's it. Just 537. Temporarily stop 401k contribution. Let's see. Wife and I have 2 paid off houses, 3 paid off cars, and no other debt. No income from the second house right now. Why is that? Net worth about $1.3 million, but a lot of that is real estate, normally is. And the vast majority of the rest is in 401k and IRA, normally is. Unfortunately, I wrecked her car, and while it is fixed, paid cash for that, I felt compelled to buy her a new, well, that's on you, dog. Recent model used car, which I paid for with what basically amounted to a large chunk of our emergency fund. That's not an emergency fund. If you fix the wrecked car and it drives, it's not an emergency. Especially since it is you have 3 paid off cars. Whose cars are those? Who's driving those? So you're doing it wrong, regardless of your feelings about whether you felt guilty about doing that and needed to spend more money. I mean, if you have the money saved up, certainly do that, but it's not an emergency fund. You know what you could do? You could sell one of the houses and then have money to buy stuff like that. How about that? Let's see, we have 15 to 20K left in a money market fund, and that's about it for emergency cash. It should be 3 to 6 months of your expenses, and I would, since you have not only 1 but 3 houses combined with rental properties, I would suggest that be a 6-month emergency fund. And so it would depend on what your expenses are, how much that should be. So if this were an actual emergency that you should have used it, then you would replenish the emergency fund. Let's see, this doesn't feel like enough to me given the economy is softening. Always the economy and stuff like that. Stop spending money, then you don't have to worry about replacing the money in the emergency fund. My job feels reasonably secure, but you never know when there's some bean count. Right. See, and you don't make decisions based on general worry like this. So, fix your life. If you need money, sell the at least one of the rental properties. Sell it. And if you did have an emergency, you can temporarily stop the 401k contributions to replace that money in the emergency fund. And 6-month emergency fund is fine. So, but I mean, this crap about, the economy, wah. Stop spending money. Stop buying a new car, even though it's used. You don't need to buy a new car if you paid to fix the other one. I mean, don't do dumb stuff like that. If it's not going to be good enough to just fix the wrecked car so that it's all completely fixed and drives fine now, if that's not going to be good enough, just sell it as a junker and you can get that new car instead of paying to fix that. That is so dumb. Even rich people do dumb things. Oh, let's see. What up, Jules? Oh, Ocado is not a physical supermarket. Oh, and delivery is free too? Okay, fair enough. Alrighty. Yeah, so if you don't mind emailing me that list, I just wanna see what it is. I'm interested to see what it is for that cheap. That will last one person a month. Consistent move 357. Just want to share today. My house will be paid for. Excellent. Just wanted to share with like-minded people. 45 years old, paid it off. 665K in 11 years, 3 months. House, 1,700 square foot and 2.5 acres. Now worth 450K. On low end, taking half and adding to 457 plan. Rest is fund money. I'm assuming of the mortgage payment. Going to take half of that mortgage payment he was making, and do half fund money and half add it to the 457 plan to after retirement, and half to fund money, and that's no problem. And guess what, sir? You need to change this flare. If your house is paid for today, you're on step 7, and congratulations. FastBud, Roth 401k. Can someone explain the difference between Roth 401k and a regular 401k? They seem like the same options, just pre versus post tax. That's correct. My company just started offering Roth 2, and I have the option to use it for the first time. Well, that's great. Well, the difference is when you have a regular or traditional 401k, you do not have to pay taxes on the contributions, and let's say that's this amount over however long your working career is, or at least at that particular place. And so the problem is if you have 7 years, it doubles. And so if you have any appreciable time in that 401k, your contributions are going to be way, way, way bigger. So do you want to pay tax on this much amount of money or that much amount of your money? A lot of people, they want to do like extra math and consider, but this is like now and I want to spend more money now. Or they're like, but my tax rate will be way lower when I retire. And instead of just thinking about the big picture, it's going to be more money unless you are only in the market for a very short time. So that's why that would be recommended before the traditional. So it's Roth of either kind, for Roth 401k or Roth IRA. But after matches first, because that's 100% rate of return, and then a Roth account, both Roth accounts, you can have two if you have 15% left over, or if in the case of the previous person, you're now going to be putting half of your previous mortgage payment in there, and then you can do more than 15% because the house is paid off now. So it could be fun to compare the prices of things around the chat area. Absolutely, Sid. Jackson list punched into Steve's Walmart app. I'll punch it into mine as well. I don't think I've had the Walmart app before. I think I deleted it. We need a West Coaster. Jules could as well. Excellent. All right. We'll do something like that. That'll be a fun segment. Caesarean. Interesting. Should I pay off a debt when it has no interest? Yes, it's still a debt. Mr. Ramsey is the no debt guy. And so it doesn't matter if it doesn't have any interest on it. Because probably eventually it will. And if it's with a family member especially, you do need to pay it off regardless. The idea is to have no debt. That's why all that is step 2. Every kind of debt except for mortgage debt that you live in, and that's step 6. So yeah, you should pay off every debt. That's going to be step 2. Let's see. Hi, my college debt is a little under 19,000. No, that's not quid. That's euros, I think. In the Netherlands, yeah. So probably what do I say? Euros. Here we do not have interest on student loans. Okay, I am currently paying off 50 monthly, and I have about 35 years to pay it off. And that's not the advice. Like a good example, I can compare it to probably most student loans, if not all of them here in America, have interest on them. But I would compare that to you moving interest credit card balance to a 0% interest for a year, and then you give yourself a year to pay it off. That's not, again, stretching it out is not the Ramsey advice. It's to pay it off as soon as possible, and then you can take that payment money and that can work for you instead of working for the frickin' lender. Let's see, pero I want, if I pay it off if I want to. So what, you have the option of not paying it off? If you go 35 years and then they say, well, that's enough. For me, it's just 50 euros a month. And because there's no interest, I was wondering if it would just be better off, if I would just be better off investing. That does give me some ROI, some info. Don't need it. Not going to change the advice. 10K in bank account, 29 years old, 3,800 after tax a month, household income about 7,000. Let's just see what else there is that doesn't change the advice to pay off debt. This student loan debt, no matter how much the interest on it, is part of baby step 2. You do baby step 1 first, and you don't have $10,000 sitting extra in your checking account. You would use that to pay off your dumb debt. Oh, let's see. What else is there? Oh, that was it. I thought there was dots after that. My bad. Okay. That's what happens when you have a webcam light shining in your face. So yes, you should still pay that off. Right, you can do it on the website. Yes, Sid. Thank you, ma'am. Numerous parking 4122 career switch. I've looked at a few posts related to this, but am wondering what career would fit me best based on my get clear. I'm not gonna do any more of these. So, I mean, it tells you things like, just to explain to everybody what it is, King Coleman's Get Clear Career Assessment. You take it and then it tells you what your talents are. In this case, is execution, organization, and instruction. And how about you, if not Googling it, how about you just think in your own mind what jobs will work with those talents? It's also passions, finishing, phrasing, teaching, and leading. Right, and so you can't think of any jobs that fit those? And a Bachelor of Arts in UX, but I feel underqualified to get a job in it. Maybe that shouldn't have been your bachelor's degree then. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna do any more of those. Eventually, I'll stop explaining what it is as well. Cards Vote. What is Dave's opinion on XX year whole life policies? Okay, well, you can take out the XX year because that doesn't change anything. It can just be what is Dave's opinion on whole life policies. And that's, as our friends in Australia would say, no. That's his opinion on it. No, whole life is a horrible insurance policy. it's a horrible investment as well. So if you buy the cheaper term life and invest the difference yourself, not only, as I said, is it cheaper, not only that, but the investment part, you get to leave that to your heirs. Instead, with whole life, guess what happens? If you die, they pay out the death benefit, but they keep the freaking investment. And everybody that sells it knows that, so they're scum. Either they don't understand it, or they have a blind spot towards it, or they are just dumb. Let's see. I have two 20-year whole life policies for about $7,200. They will be paid up when I turn 44. I pay $120 for them. Yeah. Is that a month? Yeah. I also have term. Why do you need both? My plan is to keep term for as long as I need it. That's great. Why do you have both? And will always keep my whole life. Then why do you want to know what Dave's opinion is if you're going to keep it regardless? My issue is I have health issues and don't believe I can be insured. Well, you would keep your term life for sure. Are you talking about being keeping that whole life so you would have extra insurance so that you don't think you can qualify for new insurance? Is that what it is? So, I mean, that's a different thing then. So I'll apologize on that if that's the case. So if you have health issues and you can't like extend that term, if you should need to, it depends on when the term is up. Or if you're going to be rich enough, which you're not going to be if you've been investing in this whole life policy for a long time. When I turn 44, so you're not 44 yet, so you still got a long time to go. I would see what I would price. I would price term insurance right now for whatever your health condition is and see if it's even available. Let's see. And that is an advantage of my whole life policy. It will never go away. Right. Just the investment part will go away. I also purchase them for my kids. That's dumb too. When they are born, that's dumb too. So they will get a $25K paid up whole life policy when they turn 20. I use these whole life policies as guaranteed insurance for the rest of my life, right? So again, if you can't get any other insurance, you would not let go of it. But if you have term, which unless you skimped out on the term by not having it be 10 to 12 times your salary, if you got less because you have the whole life policy, then you've locked yourself into a corner there by doing that. But that was not wise. None of this is wise. Everything you're doing is bad. Boom. Uses whole life policy guaranteed. Yeah. Also, the insurance allows them to purchase additional insurance with the Knight of Columbus for my daughters if they don't marry a knight. Okay. Big deal on that. Doesn't have to be purchasing insurance with that particular organization. They don't have to do that. That is not required. Must be new to Ramsey. Ice-T, where you been? You've been missing from the Ramsey show chat, sir. And haven't been in my chat either the past couple of days, I don't believe. Organic ad 2232. Lifestyle creep. Instead be a widow. Why the heck are you in debt? You don't belong there. You don't belong there. That's also in that music playlist. Lifestyle creep there for you. Let's say I start a new job soon that will doubling it, my family's income. I'll be moving from 55K to 114K. The company has a program to pay off student loans at the rate of 10K a year. So I can have that done in 2 years, okay? Other than my house, that is our only debt. What pieces of advice would you give to set a soon-to-be family of 4 up for success, to not do the lifestyle creep. If you were living fairly comfortably on 55, you continue living like that. I mean, on top of that, you can take a vacation a year. It's fine. You can do that. All right. But I would do the smart things. I would make sure you have all your insurances in place. I would make sure that you are maxing out retirement, definitely. And that if spouse is not working, that you also do a spousal investment account for the spouse, because if the spouse dies, taking care of the kids and such, you will need to hire somebody to do that. So even though she doesn't have income, you will need a replacement for her services, and those are going to cost money. So that kind of stuff. But you can do some fun stuff, sure, absolutely. But I would make it a if you have a mortgage, doesn't say here, but if you have a mortgage, I would put a priority on paying that off as well. But other than that, you just live like you have been living. And this is not an automatic, oh, we need to move up in house then. That would be not what to do. Pay off the house you have now, and then, maybe in a few years, you can think about if you need to move up to a higher house. But that anything that you are making better than it was before, even though before was fine, that's lifestyle creep. And so, once you get higher on the baby steps, you are supposed to be able to have fun and do vacations and have nicer things. That's fine. You just don't let it go crazy. You don't go crazy with it. And obviously you don't do any debt. So, you hopefully this person is at least on, still on baby step 2 because it has student loans. And so, Dave would say to pay that off, even though your company would do that. I would let them do that until you pay them off, but you pay them off as soon as you can, which would be maybe by Christmas or so. What is it? It's October, so maybe not, but maybe early in 2025. What up, Aslan? So you just be on the lookout. The fact that you put this as the title of it and you're concerned about it is good. You just need to look at that and everything. I mean, once you are on baby step 4, then that's a time where, like before, you're on step 1, 2, and 3. The idea would not to be to look at this and say, do I want to put this to something fun or something that's not necessary or something I just want, or should I put it to steps 1, 2, or 3? That's not an option. Not supposed to be an option. You're supposed to put everything except a teeny tiny bit of fun money to the baby step 1, 2, or 3. Now, once you're in step 4, then at that point you get to decide, do I want to do this, or do I want to put more towards kid college, or put more towards paying the house off sooner? That kind of thing. And so you just have to think about everything like that. And it doesn't have to be agonizing over it. You can just give it a thought. And, if you haven't been on vacation for 5 years, go on freaking vacation. You just put it in the budget and cash flow it, or do a sinking fund for it. My view from outside. Hello from the other side. Trey. What up, Trey? It's easier to live where you are and simplify your life by downsizing excess stuff, cluttering your place as you seemingly have more room. Right? That's the problem too. Yeah. You move to a bigger house because you think you need a bigger house because now you make more money, and then your stuff doesn't fill it up, and you think, oh, it seems like we don't have anything. Yeah, Trey right. Aslan's house feels huge with almost nothing in it. Well, as kind of a minimalist maybe. Sits at increase your vacation fund modestly. Make sure 5 and 6 are well thought through, right? Right, and you can work that out mathematically. If you're putting kid college in an ESA or 529 plan, and you can think about how much you can help cash flow at the time. Even you can figure all that out so you have as much as you need by the time the child or children are 18 and going to college, or 17 in some cases. If you've got a summer birthday or close to summer, Sid's going to take her test for the week. Wish her luck. We do wish you luck. Tries to leave pretty minimalist. Does that mean not leaving? He meant live, I'm sure. But I do have a lot of stuff related to my hobbies in the garage. They've been banished to the garage, have they, Trey? As one said, the more stuff you own, the more stuff owns you. In Russia, stuff owns you. With all the maintenance and cleaning that is required. Yeah, and you got to rent a larger truck when you move to Arkansas, and then when you move back. But I got a smaller truck just for that reason. Let's see, my view from outside. What are some vaccine mandate proof career paths in the United States? Anywhere that you would be considered to be essential, like computer repair was considered to be essential. So I was fine during that time. I think my boss sent me home to work remotely for the first week or two of that, and then he was like, "You can come back to the office," which I was fine with. But who knows? Who knows? The rules, as far as what they say is essential, that can change. If the definition of a recession can change from one administration to the other, then so can essential workers. And so, yeah. So hopefully that kind of thing doesn't happen again. It's easy to believe that it might, that there will be some other kind of pandy eventually. Hopefully it won't be in our lifetimes. Curtis B. Music. Well, it's a fish. Last week I made a post about how my wife and I would be consumer debt free next week. Well, next week is now. Excellent. This week, our last debt payment has been processed, and we are now officially consumer debt-free. Excellent. Congratulations. I already received tons of congratulations on the last post. Great. So thank you for that. I just wanted to give an update in case anyone cared. LOL. If you're currently paying off debt, just know that it is possible, and you will be debt-free one day. Never give up. Never surrender. Absolutely. I added the never surrender. That's from a movie called Galaxy Quest. Pay off debt versus keep saving. KRSDIJS. Don't know what that means. There's more to it. Let's see. 26 man, married, wife in Newbin. Military, sole earner currently. Debt, auto loan at 5.5 interest, 311 monthly payment, 311. Made a lot of friends, some know that we have always been down. There's some in that 90s, or is that early 2000s, Trey? 12,500 remaining balance. Oh, on the mortgage. Okay. Savings, emergency fund, $20,000, $250. A high yield savings at 4.15%. Shouldn't be in there unless you have immediate access to it. TSP 8K. Contributing 5% of each paycheck to get the government match. Made a nice little table here, I think is what this is. And monthly paycheck $2,600. Pay off debt versus keep saving. No, you pay off the debt. You pay off the debt. You don't have money in savings. You're debt leveraging. You're debt leveraging the savings by keeping the debt around. So you don't debt leverage to have more in savings. That is a no again, as our Australian friends would say. No. And that is, who is that? Oh, Shelby. Yeah, that reminds me. I haven't seen Shelby lately either. Did Ice-T say? Ice-T didn't say why he wasn't around. Keeping it vague, Ice-T. Let's see, I'm debating whether to pay off my auto loan and then work on rebuilding my emergency fund. That would be a yes, because you're not supposed to have that big of an emergency fund in the first place. I just don't like having that $311 come out of my paycheck every month. Okay, well, as soon as you get rid of your dumb auto loan, then you can start, you're already investing, so you just immediately get rid of the auto loan, and then you can continue investing, and then you can pay extra on the house at that point. I understand 5.5% isn't an emergency for some people, but it's been bothering me. Well, that's right. And also, your emergency fund shouldn't be in there unless you have immediate access to it. Emergencies don't wait 1 to 3 days for a transfer. So you got to have immediate access to it. High yield savings accounts, fine. Have to have immediate access to it. Would it be better to make a partial payment towards a loan? No, you don't half-ass stuff. You do the baby steps in order. You don't half-ass 2 of them at a time. No, that is not the advice. Instead of pay it off all at once. What kind of dumb crap is that? I appreciate your service, but this is dumb. What are your pros and cons of each option? Looking for advice from those who've been in a similar situation. I haven't been, because the steps make sense to me the way they are. And when I saw the baby steps, I didn't look at the list and say, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, maybe I should do step 4 even before step 1 is done. I did not think that way. I think you do step 1 and then check that off once you're done, and then, only then, do you move to step 2. Now, what I might not have gotten was the part where steps 4, 5, and 6 you do still in order, but all at the same time. But that's not 1 through 3. 1 through 3, you do 1 at a time in order. You don't move ahead to other steps while you're doing step 1, or while you're doing step 2, or while you're doing step 3. So, you know, I mean, people always want to try to change up stuff and find, or they just don't understand, which I don't understand how they don't understand how you can look at the baby steps and think that you should be doing all of them at the same time. I have no idea how you can do that, but I do know that people think in other ways than I do, for sure. That's the reality of the situation. So yeah, the pros of doing the Ramsey advice is the Ramsey advice has been proven millions of documented times. And then that way, once all your debt's gone, then you can use it for saving. And then you don't have to ever pay that debt off again. You don't half-ass 2 different baby steps at the same time, or even more baby steps at the same time. At least on 1, 2, and 3, you don't. On 4, 5, and 6, you do split it up. Need advice. Actually, you don't even split it up. You don't even split it up. Let's go back to it. So your snowball amount that you were previously doing 1 at a time, step 1, 2, and 3, you would be putting 15% of that extra money into retirement, and then you would be at least addressing kid college, and you only need to do enough so that they can have whatever you want to bless them with by the time they are college age. And then anything that's left anything that's left of the extra money, then you would put that on the mortgage instead. And so that's how that's split up either. It's not just random numbers between all of them. So yeah, it's a way to do it. So let's see, coming alone. Jules said 90s. Thank you, Jules. Jack did send that to my email. Thank you so very much, sir. Perhaps on Tuesdays after show. Trey makes own strings for my recurve bows. Nut. I have a lot of large number of targets I store in the garage, so it takes a bit of room. Yeah, that sounds like garage stuff, Trey. So I'm with you on that. 311 was a band big in the mid to late 90s. Yep, thank you. Ice-T been busy. Glad you're no longer blocked on the Ramsey channel. Yeah, that just happened 2 times. Yeah, Trey, I don't know how. Mod says he didn't do it, and he says the sub-mod didn't do it. He says that other people there do have the ability to do that, but he doesn't know who would have done that. So I don't know. He was going to look into it, but yeah, one of the times was when Ice-T put in oh no, it wasn't Ice-T, it was somebody else. Put in did a super chat and advertised my channel. Yeah, that's right, Trey. You should. Yeah, I was Coach Steve De Niro for a while. That's a different account. Yeah, not blocked anymore. It seemed like it was a 24-hour timeout on both times. So I was never unblocked. I was never on the blocked list at all. It's just timed out. Need advice on paying off my car loan or investing? Well, again, hey, look, step 4 is investing. Car loans would be in step 2, so why don't you tell me? So none of the numbers matter. None of the numbers matter. They could be anything. Thank you for telling us all those different numbers and all those different time periods. Doesn't matter. Vinay loves to travel. All right, Vinay. Struggling financially, expert shares 7 baby steps to achieving financial freedom. I guess they posted something on where? The IB Times in the bloody UK. All right. By following these steps. That's cool. And of course, it's on his website right there. But this could have been like more an article form and had more info about him on there. What is the IB Times, I wonder? Anybody know? Do you know what that is, Jack? Oh, okay. Now we find out the truth. Total gross order should have been 77.73. Oh, vouchers and extras. Okay. 1769 minus offers. If it's on offer, right? They say that there. Total charge 51.66. Okay, that's close enough. Delivery and packing are free. Can't beat that at all. Trey says, why can people not understand pay off all debt before dumping significant money into investments? Any money into investments. You're not supposed to do any. It's not complicated. That is true. The U.S. equivalent is going to be more like around $60, I think. Something like that. Joey K, 1791, advice on health insurance. I know this is a weird topic for the page, but still figured someone here would have advice on it, maybe. My job offers health insurance, but it's very expensive, about $350 per pay period, bi-weekly. I went on the NJ, getcoverednj.com website to see estimates. I mean, if that's a legitimate brokerage site and you can get it cheaper through them, go ahead. What I saw was healthcare ranging from about $250 to $350 per month. So it's gotta match the coverages that the work one does. If it doesn't have as much coverage, then that's why it's cheaper. Let's see, considering this is approximately half the cost, any reason I shouldn't or can't do something like this? No, you can, but 24-year-old old in good health, that's great for you. But as far as the insurance, you would have to look at the coverages on each plan to compare them, not just the dollar amount. That's not all you go by. Living Cool, 23. Aslan thinks it's because, people don't understand the risk. Right, because debt is normal. Everybody has debt. We're always going to have debt. No, we're not. No, we're not. $67.71. Okay, so a little bit more than I thought it was. Exchange rate a little more than the Yank thought. Living Cool 23. Love Rachel and Dave as a duo. I always love it when Rachel is on with Dave because she feels comfortable calming him down, or calling him out for the most part, and helping him listen instead and jumping right to a conclusion. Yeah, the problem is he's still right most of the time with his jumping to conclusions. As a 29-year-old, his assumptions of people's situation can sometimes annoy me, even though he's right most of the time. When he assumes that because that family ate out once, they probably eat out 3 times a week. They don't. A lot of times, I'm on his side on this. Unfortunately, I understand how younger people are more, let's give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But Dave understands. I mean, he goes by the stats. 78% of people live paycheck to paycheck. So that's a pretty good, and that's your target audience, the people that need to do the baby steps. And so most people are going to eat out way more than they should, and which, if you're on baby step 2, that should be a 0 amount of times. Let's see. I feel like, for me, Rachel feels the frustration sometimes too, LOL. Yeah, probably, because she's more empathetic, especially towards younger people. But yeah, she has a lighter touch, for sure. Absolutely. So, and I mean, them as a duo, yeah, I mean, you probably have chemistry with, you hope, most of your family members. So you would seem like that would usually make a good show, depending on your relationship with said family member. But yeah, even $68 for a month. And that even includes household items in addition to just food. That's right. That's why I gotta figure out what that is and see if we pay more money for it as well. 58 items. So yeah. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it, Jules. Gonna get to the bottom of it because he found the magic items apparently. Or we'll see. Or we have to pay much more for them here. And they're way cheaper there. Commercial ad 5161. Please explain why this upsets you. How do you know? Don't assume that it's gonna upset me. I've been posting here for over a year about student loans. Why? Why do you need to post that many times about it? 2 years ago, I tackled credit card debt, $10,000. I took a couple months off so I could breathe. Wah. Then I started paying student loans, $10,000 over $10,000 while they were still in deferment. Great. That's the advice. Taking time off to breathe is not. Student loan balance is at $2,900 now. Great. Pay it off. I haven't used a credit card in nearly 3 years. Great. Close them. Cut them up. So I've acquired 0 new debt. Great. Cut them up. Since starting this journey, I have $2,000 in savings right now, which is $1,000 too much for this sub. That's correct. You're doing it wrong. And see, but the whole deal is, I mean, you're making progress for sure. So why can't that be good enough for you, sir? Assuming it's a sir. Why can't that be good enough for you? But no, you have to run it by other people. Why? If you think this is a good plan for you, why not just do it? Why do you need validation? Or maybe you're doing it specifically to upset people. I don't know. Let's see. I suggested that I use the $2,000 for my larger student loan, 24, and I'll pay the other loan with my next paycheck, $500. Now you should keep at least $1,000 emergency fund. So yeah, that would be not Dave's advice as well. Then I just have $400 to pay with the following check. What am I doing wrong? You know darn well what you're doing wrong. This is when it's dumb. Honestly, to be honest, it seems like people here just want to attack me. No, for having a good plan. That's so dumb. So I'm in the troll camp now for that. So you know darn well that's just not the advice. Why don't you just do what you want to do without involving Reddit or the internet or anybody else? So probably just a troll. Or, or seeking some kind of validation or something. Who knows? Floppy Dongle 887, just looking for some motivation. Hey y'all, I finally got myself to a place where I felt like, for me, I was ready to go to actually go through with this. Great. Finally got to where I had that $1,000 start emergency fund. Oh, you mean not $2,000? Why do you do 1,000? Oh, because the steps say 1,000? Great. And was waiting for my first check after that to start working on tackling debt. Well, not even 2 days later, my central air takes a crap and I have to spend $900 to replace the blower motor. I'm thankful I had the money sitting there in the emergency fund. Absolutely. And if you didn't have that, if you had spent that, you wouldn't have had that. So that should give you motivation to rebuild that and then start paying off the debts. Money sitting there to cover without sacrificing paying a bill. Right. But that really just took all the wind out of my sails. So, I mean, you gotta be a glass half full kind of person. We had glass half full Friday on the Ramsey show chat on Friday. And so it should be a glass half full day every day, really. But you shouldn't be thinking about it. Oh, there goes all my progress. No, because you would have had to use debt for that. If you didn't have that emergency fund sitting there, you probably would have had debt on it, or you left a bill going unpaid. That didn't happen because you had the emergency fund. So rebuild that emergency fund quickly. Left me feeling hopeless. Like I'm never going to get ahead of this. No, build up your emergency fund again. And odds would say that wouldn't happen again immediately. There are some, there's people that are unlucky and that thing after thing after thing happens. But the odds are that you'll be fine this time. I'm going to get back into, I've done it once, can do it again. Yeah, this is the attitude you should have. But does anyone have any advice on how to not feel so defeated before I even begin? Yeah, focus on the fact that you, by doing the plan, by starting it, you're in a better place now than you would have been if you did not start it. Even though you did have to use the most of the emergency fund, all but $100 of the emergency fund, you're in a better place. And so that's what you should focus on rather than the having to build the emergency fund up again. And hopefully for the rest of your life, you will not have to touch the emergency fund ever again. If you do have emergencies, hopefully you'll be in a position by that time where you can just cash flow them. And so that is the best thing that can happen, is that you save the starter emergency fund and you save the full emergency fund, and you never, ever, ever have to touch them. And the only time you do anything with that is when it moves from you to one of your heirs as part of your estate. On some things, I think some things are more expensive, Jack. Something's cheaper, something's more expensive, I believe. So it's got a 95 in the class so far. 95 is approved. That's like in today's high school grading system, that is probably like two worth 2 A's. That's like 200%, 2 A's. Let's see. Hasn't spent more on food now, but I've been accumulating extra for the last 6 months. Oh, doing that prepper lifestyle. Get some free range chickens, free eggs. Asin might be able to do that on her property. If you live in apartments, let them roam outside or in the hallways. I'm going to go ahead and say that they probably won't approve that. Only thing that's gone up are eggs, meat, and milk. Yeah, they did. I think they all came back down. I don't know if they went back down to regular, because I don't buy any of that stuff regularly. Mid to long food stores, just a smart thing to do nowadays, says Trey. Sydney gonna have to start a cow share sinking fund now that we have our freezer. Some food items gone up over 100% for the last 3 years, Jack. And others after 2. Are they still up that high, Aslan, even post Pandy? Yeah, some companies, I can't remember if it was Target. I can't remember. At least one company has admitted that they raised prices above what their costs were, like extraordinarily higher than what their costs went up during the pandy. Honeysuckle, I've seen that name before on here. Riches through debt. Dave Ramsey is a Christian. He quotes scripture. All right, what crap is this here? Okay, so I don't know if this is going to be a thing where he's like trying to find a Bible verse that, I mean, Habakkuk, I don't even know what that is, what book that is, but, trying to find a Bible verse that is against Dave's teachings and so forth, or if he's just gonna like agree with and say, or this is another verse that goes along with the advice. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The advice works is the problem, and you don't have to do it. So again, you don't have to put your life through the Ramsey perspective. You don't have to get anybody's opinion from the internet on anything. You can just do your life. How about that? Robus Midcon. What are some of your creative ways to save money on everyday expenses? Well, we're going to steal Jack's grocery list, if that ends up being a good idea. in America with American prices. If that works out, we're going to steal that. So stealing is ideas is a creative way to save money on everyday expenses. Probably the easiest way is to not have the everyday expenses. Say like, oh, I don't know, if one of your everyday expenses is Starbucks, then you don't buy that, and that's a way to save money on it. If it's something that you might need, I've just lived in apartments for a long time, and I just take out the trash in, the bags you get from the grocery store. So I haven't bought trash bags in forever. I'm still working on the same box of trash bags I've had for about 5 years now, I think. Just because I don't have that much at one time, and so I can just throw any in our dumpster. I know everybody doesn't have a dumpster. They have the trash cans that they have to take out to the road in front of their house, that kind of thing. So that would be different, but that would be one of my examples. Anybody else got a creative way to save money on everyday expenses? We'll see if some people have it in the chat. Iced tea making up a far-fetched scenario that I am ignoring. Rex Dango, upside down and behind, struggling. Upside down. Debt, you turn me inside out and round. Been following the plan to pay off my debts. Excellent. The biggest life-changing wrench was thrown in the works. My wife getting sick has been missing work occasionally. I'm behind on some of my payments and getting those late fees in. I've had offers to close accounts to get reduced payments / reduced interest. Is this an okay move? Yes. Because the idea is to close them anyway. So, yeah, that's fine. You can do any kind of agreement with your debt that you want to do as long as it doesn't add more debt to it. I don't recall hearing about this anywhere. 33 man, union truck driver, barely surviving, have been selling everything just to make ends meet. Take a look at the budget again. A lot of people have blind spots on their budget. 16K-ish in debt, not counting car, house. Count the car with it. Count the car with it. That's step 2 as well. So count the car with it, yo. I feel like I'm failing my wife and kids. Well, you got to work more. Work more, spend less. Fine. You got to cut this stuff out of the budget. There's no magic button. There's no easy button. So you have to work more. You have to put forth more effort to see more result. Freeze dry all the food. Aslan is asking Trey if he does. Let's see, most shops run things on sale in a 4 to 8 week cycle. So if you use those items, it can be a big savings to purchase enough when it is on sale to make it to the next time that it is on sale. Yep, that is a good thing. And you can always check for sales on items that you need and buy them earlier than you need them. Yeah. When it's on sale. Speaking of supply chain shortages, historical close 65. How do people feel about, for me, increasing personal spending now to get ahead of shortages? Well, the problem is you don't know if there's going to be shortages. So you might be spending more money to do it now. And now, guess what? It's not personal spending unless it's a want. I don't consider personal spending food. So if you're considering that the necessary things, if you're considering that personal spending, then okay. But I mean, you can run it however you want to. You can buy it buy more in week 1 and then spend less in week 4, that kind of thing, because you still have some left over. That's fine. You can do that however you want. I personally spent an extra $700 the past couple of days to do what? To have dried and canned food stockpiled. That's fine unless that $700 could have been used better elsewhere, like to if you have baby step 2 debt, excuse me, or you don't have your full emergency fund yet, it would be better for that, not on something that might happen, like the dried and canned food go up in the next 3 weeks. Let's see, I also bought, or however long you have bought to last it for, bought extra paper towels and toilet tissue. We already have big shortages here. Florida, okay, so if you're in Florida and you just had the hurricane, yeah, they're out of stuff, probably. And my area was only 60 miles from the center of the hurricane. Yeah, if you're in Florida, yeah, I would have that. I would already have that. I would already have extra of that stuff. Because that, I mean, I hear the rainstorms ain't nothing to mess with. Wolf camping, life away. Ooh, I'm camping my life away. Looking for a sunny day for me. I want to say like 79 or 80 on that one. That's Eddie Rabbit. That's a country song. Anyone know that one? Let's see. Should I get this loan or wait? The answer is to never get it. What is it? For a house? You buy the house when you can afford it. Let's see. I'm under contract. So if you break the contract, you're going to be losing some money. But that may be the thing to do. Let's see. To buy my first home for about $400K in an area where cost of living is rising kind of quickly, but not completely outrageous yet. In Western Colorado. That's going to happen. My friends are selling their home directly to me for a bit of a discount, estimated to be about $20K under appraisal, and they're calling it instant equity since there is no realtor fees. Okay, they can call it whatever they want then. The home was built about. What you got to ask yourself also though is, would you buy that house if it weren't your friends selling it to you? If you buy something from friends or family, it always has to be something that you would buy if you had no relationship to the building that you're buying. Home was built about 6 years ago, and a fairly new house, and is in great condition. It's a low maintenance. You gotta like your people and your buildings, low maintenance. Travel for work in a nice neighborhood, and all appliances are included. Okay, great. I have a 20% down payment, but found out I don't qualify for a conventional loan because I switched to 1099 a little over 1 year ago in the same line of work that I've been in for 6 years. With all the added cost of an FHA loan, I would say that try manual underwriting. If you haven't tried that. Let's see, I would say with all the added cost, I would say the extra approximately 20K savings makes up for it, or doesn't make up for it. Let's see. Pretty much a wash. Okay, well that's still better. That's still better if you were just buying the house and you weren't getting the 20K discount, right? So again, it has to be you would buy the house regardless, no matter if it was related to you as far as being a friends or family members or not. The lenders are trying to convince me I can refinance later to drop the mortgage insurance. You can, or you don't even have to refinance later. You can just, once you have 80% equity in it, then you can ask the lender to do that. I mean, I'm sure you are getting a loan to do that, so you are working with a financial institution. So they would normally drop that. You do have to ask, and sometimes more than once, before they get it. They don't rush to do that, apparently. Although I think mine automatically dropped it. pretty much immediately. Let's see. Oh, I worked extremely hard to save up the 20% down payment, closing costs, and a 25K emergency fund on top of that. Well, you wouldn't have that. You would have your 6-month emergency fund. I just feel like, for me, a lot of people feel like things. I'm throwing a lot of money away for this loan, whereas if I wait until August 25, the 2-year mark for my 1099, I would have a lot more options with conventional loans. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But the idea is you buy it when you can afford it, and you want to, not based on all this other stuff. Home prices might continue to increase, probably, by then, but surely it's worth not having the FHA mortgage insurance, right? Oh yeah, FHA might be FHA is the one, I think, where it's mortgage insurance for life. You have to pay that forever, so there's no dropping that. Oh, I see. That's why you would have to refinance it. Okay, to do that. So you might want to wait. I understand why you would want to wait then, in that case. And the house probably be more expensive, but you can keep saving, of course, for a larger down payment. Maybe in the end it would be all right if I went through with this, maybe, but I'm nervous to solely bank on refinancing. Then don't. Mortgage insurance permanently for 11 years sounds awful after saving 20%. Don't do it. Don't just complain the whole thing and still consider doing it. Don't. You don't have to. So again, you shouldn't let anything like trying to time it keep you from getting a house. But if you have all of these things that make you nervous and such, I don't think you want to get a house enough, and so don't do it. Boom. Let's see what I'm missing in the panic buying screws up the supply chain. That much is certain. Sorry, just catching up with the chat. We'll be to the next question in just one moment. $800 for a quarter cow. That's not terrible. Everybody bought all the toilet paper everywhere. Nice tea. My only one company that was making them for home use and agree it was expensive. Oh yeah, the freeze dryers. Home Harvest is the brand. Oh, most common for home use. Okay, I thought that said bread. I was like, what is that? Are you sure it's not Wonder Bread? Let's see. Cool. All right. Artemis Clyde Frog. Oh yeah. That's a South Park reference to Artemis, a character from the Will Smith movie called Wild Wild West. And so Cartman was singing the Wild Wild West theme by Will Smith. He said, me and Artemis Clyde Frog got to save Selma Hayek from the big metal spider. Wiggy wiggy slash yo yo bang bang. Should I invest my car fund? You can if you don't need it for 5 years. I've saved up $35K to buy a new car. I'm not champing at the bit. Oh, that was chomping at the bit. I think you can be champing too. I think champing is a horse term. Let's ask George about that. At the bit to go out and spend it since my current car is a 2014 Hyundai Tucson with about 90k miles on it and no real problem. I was originally planning on keeping my car fund in my SoFi high yield savings account. That's normally what you should do. But I'm wondering if it'd be better served investing the money for a couple years. No, because it's only a couple. That's not enough years. If you have 5 years, yes. If it's less than 5 years, you have a much higher chance of the market being down right when you need the money. I'll drive my current car until it encounters a large costly repair or until spring of 2029, and I already have a fully funded emergency fund separate from the car fund. I would appreciate any input or predictions on my options. Thank you. I also would not build up that car fund too high. Let's see, how much? 35K. Yeah, I mean, I would save enough to buy maybe a 10K car, and the rest of it I'm applying to the rest of the baby steps. Baby step 6, so maybe doing 4 already, and 5, who knows, but that money should be on the house. Pay off the house sooner, and then maybe by 2029 you can have the house paid off, and then your mortgage payment you can save that up and put it in a car fund instead. So baby steps are before like over saving to buy a new to you car. Pytite 2775 allocation of gift. I have a car loan and a mortgage. That means you're on step 2, sir or madam. I have been offered a gift of early inheritance money and asked to use it for home repairs. Okay. The giver asked you to use it for home repairs? Or you asked if you could. I've been looking at a few home repair options, and that's how the inheritance topic came into the conversation. None of those repairs are emergencies. My dilemma is that following the baby steps, it would mandate the unexpected money to be used to pay down debt, specifically the car loan. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! Knows the advice. Knows the advice. Excellent. Would you not look a gift horse in the mouth and accept it for home repairs, or make it awkward and ask if it's acceptable to use toward the car loan? I would make it awkward and ask if it's acceptable to use towards the car loan, because if it's not acceptable to use towards the car loan, that's too many strings to be accepting of a gift for. So yeah, I would not do that. So congratulations on understanding the steps. Excellent. Some people don't understand them for some reason. Oh, what time is it? Oh, my goodness gracious me. Always go over. It's always over an hour before I look, and then it doesn't even see. It's like I've been doing it for maybe half an hour at most. Gigi, maybe. 2 eyes. 1990 inheritance. Again with the inheritance. I-34 female will be inheriting a large sum. That should be SUM from family overseas. The first chunk will be $100,000 USD. And every month after that, about $850 USD for about 6 years. It's amazing, and I'm forever grateful. My biggest debt is my house. I owe about $97K and no car payments or any other debt. Fabulous. That is fabulous. It's great to be in that situation again, and it's also great to get an inheritance without having to use it to do low baby steps. So that is fab. What is 100K at first? Okay. That pays off the house. Congratulations. Thankfully, I'm single, if that matters. I'm Steve. Hi. I'm only 22 years older than you. but you know, maybe we'd get along. Let's see. What is the best way to invest this money, but also to pay as little taxes as on it as possible? On the gift tax would have to be paid by the estate or the person that is giving it to you. You don't have to pay any taxes on it. I don't think. Trying to think. Yeah, I don't think you have to pay any taxes on it. If there any taxes are owed on it, the giver or the estate would have to pay that. Oh, what is the best way to invest the money? Now, if you invest it, well, you still don't have to pay taxes on it. You would have to pay taxes on any growth as part of capital gains. So, but that would only be when you take it out of the, well, if it's in a regular, if it's in a non-retirement brokerage account, you do have to pay taxes on the capital. No, you still don't until you, I mean, they want to make it that way. At least one party wants to make it that way, that you pay taxes on unrealized gains, which means if the market's up now, but you don't have the money in your hand, you still have to pay taxes on it. And that way the market could drop and you could lose everything and then you don't get a refund on those taxes at that point. So the way it is now, you don't make the money until you take it out of the account. That's when you make the money on it. Let's see, should I put some in a Roth Plus and S&P 500? I don't know what a Roth Plus is. Oh, maybe Plus and S&P 500. Okay, so a Roth IRA, or Roth 401k, or Roth 457b, those are accounts. Those are the name of the accounts, the type of account. S&P 500 would be an index, and you can buy the index fund, or you can buy other mutual funds that have the same companies in it. So one is the actual investment, one is just the investment account. But a lot of people think that you just have to say 401k and that's already the investment and is already going to make you X amount of money. It's not. It's not. If you just put the money in the Roth IRA without buying specific investments, it's just going to make you very, very little money. That's called what's called in their core position, and it's basically 1% or something like that a year in most places, I think. Buy a property. Don't be a landlord just because you got somebody gave you 100K. If you never considered being a landlord before that moment, I wouldn't be a landlord because of that. I don't want to pay off my house, not right now at least. Well, that would be the advice. Sorry. Any advice would be amazing. I already have a lump sum in savings and I'm very good with money and I've always been. So I'm not scared of blowing it, but more of not sure how to make it grow and investing it in the market and the blah, 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 blah. You don't want to do the exact thing the advice would be. Baby steps first and then any other shenanigans come later after your own baby step 9 where you start doing extra for things. But yeah, the advice would be to do, if you're not already, you would do 15% in step 4 and address kid college if that is apply. You say you're single but still could have a child, and of course you pay the house off extra. Or you pay the house off early, excuse me. And so if you don't want to do that, you can do what you want to at that point. It doesn't seem like you understand investing, so definitely learn all about that first, is what I would advise you if you're not going to follow Dave's advice. I do advise people that do not follow Dave's advice. Boom. Sorry, just trying to catch up with the chat. The chat gets away from me. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. I was trying to end. Maybe this will be the last one. What time is it? Yeah, 8:50. So the hour and it'll be an hour and a half. Cool, cool, cool. The Adventurist. Next stream is tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel. That is, what time do we start? 7:30 Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Saturdays and Sundays, unless I'm moving like next weekend. So there won't be answering your financial questions on Saturday or Sunday. I could do one on Saturday, but I'm driving all day Sunday. I could do one on Saturday, but I have to get my cable modem away or back to the cable company on Friday, so I won't be able to do that on Saturday. So none of that. But I'll try to make up for it once I get settled in the Columbus, Ohio. The Adventurous, shooting to retire, early 50s. Okay. My wife and I are both 29 with a 3-year-old. Make about 160K and have no debt except the house. Okay. Theoretically, might be able to do that. We're on track to pay off the house in 10 years. Fabulous. Realistically, just started investing 15% in retirement. Roth 401ks. Fabulous. The last 2 years and currently at 40K. Anyone actually retire early 50s? And if so, how did you manage income until you were able to start drawing on 401k at 59 and a half? I don't want to have to withdraw our contributions during that time, so curious what others have done. Okay, so you would pay off the house. You wouldn't be putting more in investment than the 15% of gross household income. You would be paying off the house. And guess what? Not having a house payment in retirement makes it easier to retire as well. But what you would need is to have what's called a bridge account. So you say you pay the house off in 10 years, and so you'll be 39, and so that will give you extra years where you can invest in a non-retirement account. And then that would be 11 years would be 50. So you would have 11 years in that. So let's see what that would be. Do we know how much? Make about 160K a year. Is that both of you guys? Oh, let's try it out. Where is it? Do I have it? I have it on here. What did we want? We want 29 years old. And we want to go to, let's just see what 50 is. Oh, 29 is there. And that one is going to be 50. No, 39, whoops. 39, because that's when the house will be paid off. So that's 11 years, 39 to 50. Okay. And the investments, did they say extra already? No, so you would just be starting. So 160. Let's see what that would be. Calculator, 160 times, let's see, what is 10%? 1,600 a month. Let's do 1,600. So that's 10%. Where are we at? There we are. So we're starting at 0. And that was going to be 1,600. And annual return, 10%. So that is going to be 382,176, and you would have to if you retire at 50, you'd still need like to be able to live off this for 10 years, which would be 38,000. So if you don't have a house payment or anything else, can you live off of 38,000? For $38,000 a year. So if not, you're gonna have to work longer. So like to 55, and then you only have to live 4 years. So then that's 75,000. That would make per year. And so then you're not having a house payment. And you know, so that's up to you. If you can, I don't see a way that you can try to keep so you're not investing extra while you're paying off your house. And so it just depends if that's going to fit in with your expenses during that time. But hopefully without a house payment and without having to do any extra kid saving for college, that you wouldn't need to have anything else. So, but it just depends on, let's see. Yeah, there's nothing else to it, so it doesn't say what expenses are right now. And who knows exactly what the expenses will be later. So, unfortunately, I can't tell you that, but that's what you have to do. You have to do a bridge account that will allow you to, and of course, you do have to, out of that, you will have to pay taxes on anything that you are inserting into that, and anything that you are withdrawing out of it. You pay capital gains taxes on that, on the growth of it, the non-contributions amount. And so, but that's how you do it. It's called a bridge account, or some people call it a gap account, that you use to take you up to the Social Security / IRA, Roth IRA, any IRA date that you're limited to, when you're first allowed to withdraw it. Let's see. Moving just in time for the chilly weather. Yep. And guess what? We had here, and I don't know, how was Louisiana, Sid? It wasn't supposed to get up to 90s again, but today and tomorrow is back up in the 90s here. It wasn't supposed to, but it is. And then tomorrow it's gonna drop like 20 degrees. So, yeah, generally Ohio about 10 degrees cooler than here. So I will not enjoy that. What Aslan is doing is putting money in 401k, IRA, and the normal account as well. Right, if you're not paying off a house, you can do that. Then you try to balance between the two accounts so you can retire early with a bridge to your retirement. Right, the bridge, you're right. Boom. The only way it works to retire early, unless you expect to get a big sum of money given to you. Yeah, you have to reduce your expenses and put that into your retirement accounts. That's right. There's no magic. You can't just say, well, I want to retire early. You can't just say that, because that doesn't happen. I mean, you can retire whatever you want, but you might not have any money to live on at that point. Alrighty. So thank you so much for watching, everybody, whether you're doing it live right now, and thanks for the chatting in the chat is where we chat, and or if you're watching later. YouTube.com/CoachSteveMoney is where you're watching this, and for other financial content, you just scroll down on there. You can also watch anything else that I'm interested in. Of course, you can. Answering your financial questions playlist and the Ramsey Show After Show playlist. And also, if you don't get enough of me singing on these streams, you can listen to me over and over again. There's 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in the music playlist as well. And let me reset those scrolling plugs. And tell you that I am Coach Steve Money, and I am a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you've got money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free, yes, 100% free financial coaching consultation assessment with me at calendly.com/CoachSteveMoney. If you have any questions about financial coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel, coachstevemoney@gmail.com, or if you want to send me your budgets, donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney, alternatively the Cash App, $CoachSteveMoney, alternatively again a Walmart gift card too, coachstevemoney@gmail.com, alternatively again a super chat, and there's like stickers or something. I don't know exactly what those are. Upcoming streams, answering your financial questions, Saturdays and Sundays. There will be one tomorrow on Sunday, but there will not be one the next week, but they will return. The week of the, let's see, 5, there's 12. On Saturday, the 19th. Saturday the 19th, Sunday the 20th. There will be weekend streams. It depends on when the Ohio State Buckeyes play on Saturday and when the Commanders play on Sunday, as far as whether it will be an afternoon stream or a night stream. That made me think of that REM song, Night Swimming. Night streaming deserves a quiet night. All right, thanks Iced. Thanks Jack. Thanks Aslan. Much appreciated. Everybody watching, all the support, much appreciated. Thank you so very much, guys. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.